Hi, I'm James Parks,
I'm Ben Costa.
and we are the creators of Dungeoneer Adventures, the story of a kid named Coop Cooperson that is the only human at an adventure school for kids.
And today we are going to read from Dungeoneer Adventures 3, Quest for the Wishing Stone. Super excited about it. James is going to start us off with Chapter 1.
Here we go. Haven't we been this way before? We keep going in circles. Have you ever felt like you had too many choices? Like way too many options on a menu? Or which back issue of Dungeoneer magazine to read for the 1000th time? Or maybe you can't choose between cake or pie. You choose cake, right? No, wait. Pie's better. I can't decide. Brain overload. Well, that's exactly how I feel as we wander through the same drab stone corridor for the umpteenth time. Everywhere we look, there's another passage, but which one should we take? Have we gone that way before? I can't remember. We're lost, Daz says in exasperation. Well, we are in a maze, Augie reminds her. We just need to choose the right path. Oh, is that how mazes work? Mindy asks sarcastically. Thanks, I didn't understand the concept. Whatever, Augie shrugs. But will someone please explain to me again how this maze has anything to do with dungeoneering ethics class? Beats me, I reply. But let's try to stay focused here. The other teams might have already found the treasure. Now, which way haven't we gone yet? My eyes scan the 3 dark corridors in front of us. The left path, Daz asserts. Augie scratches his furry chin. No, I could have sworn it was the right path. You're both wrong, Mindy corrects them, referring to her makeshift map scrawled onto a notepad. I'm fairly certain we haven't gone to the middle way yet. That is, assuming this isn't an identical corridor meant to trick us. Which is entirely possible. After all, rumor has it that not a single student has ever completed this dungeon. I get dizzy at the thought of trick passages and imagine decades of students being thwarted by this complicated labyrinth. Sheesh, I wouldn't call tricking us very ethical for an ethics class. See, that's what I'm saying, Augie smiles. Middle path it is, I guess, Daz says, and we all dart down the corridor, illuminated by the torchlight. Soon the drab stonework gives way to colorful tile mosaics all along the walls, covered in some sort of glyph writing. This definitely looks promising, something we haven't seen before. Whoa, marvels Augie. Look at all the detail. We must be on the right track. What does it all say? I wonder aloud. Everything is so rich and intricate, I can hardly choose what to examine first. Amid all the depictions of what look to be merfolk, there are various symbols of little fish and wavy lines like water. Mindy retrieves a magnifying glass from her backpack and sticks her squinting eye up close to the glyphs. At first glance, I'd say this script is in ancient, deep Naiad. It would take some time to decipher. Time we don't have, Daz laments. Just then, the red team rambles down the hallway and zooms past us like a wungalope stampede. Hey, green team, see you later. I half expect Zeke and Axel to say something snide or put me into a headlock, but neither of them glances our way. Daz sprints after them. Hurry, they're getting ahead of us. But what about these strange hieroglyphics, I call after her? They look important. Who cares, Augie replies. They're probably just decorations. Come on, Coop, Mindy calls, pointing to the others. The treasure must be this way. Augie drags me away by the arm as I mumble to myself about the glyphs. We follow the pitter-patter of Red Team's footsteps echoing ahead of us. After winding down several hallways, we finally see a bright light and hear the voices of our classmates bickering with one another. No, that will never work, a voice complains. Out of my way, says another. I can make this jump. When we enter a large, high-ceilinged room, it's clear that we're the last team to reach what looks like to be the final chamber of the maze. Red team, blue team, and yellow team all stand before a cliff that drops into brackish water that laps at the walls several feet down. And on the opposite wall, across the room, another precipice about 50 feet high with a ledge at the top. That's when I see what must be the treasure. a sparkling gold crown sitting on a plinth bathed in light. My brain starts calculating the ways to reach the top of the precipice, but nothing seems obvious. That's a really long jump to the other wall, I surmise. And touching the water is instant disqualification, Ingrid reminds everyone. Enough standing around, I got this, boasts a kid from Yellow Team, Minch Harwale, a stout Wayland with a wide grin and a big fin tail. With a running start, he leaps across the chasm. For a moment, it looks like he might actually make it to the far wall, but he falls short by a good 10 feet. There's a big sploosh as he plunges into the water below, followed by a disappointed gurgle. At least he's good at swimming, quips Daz. A few more classmates make the leap, only to meet the same fate as Minch. Triple sploosh! Okay, so what do we do? Augie asks, no one in particular. I can get it, says Melanie S., a welkin, and Augie's date to the homecoming dance last semester. She confidently nudges Augie out of the way with a sly smile. I bet you wish you had wings, huh? Then she lifts off and flies towards the ledge. Before I can encourage her to do so, Mindy has already ditched her backpack and taken to the air, her little wings working overtime. It's a race between her and Melanie S. They dart like hummingbirds toward the golden crown, faces scrunched with determination.
Come on, Mindy, I shout. Daz yells, You can do it. Let's go, Mindy, Augie cheers. And also Melanie S., he adds sheepishly. They're neck and neck just as they get to the precipice, mere feet from the golden crown. But suddenly a strong jet of air blasts them from the right wall, spewing out a vent that no one noticed before. The gust of air sends them both spiraling out of control as they futilely flap and flail their wings. Double sploosh. That's not fair, Evie Munson from Yellow Team complains. Darn, cries Daz. Mindy was our best shot. You two okay down there? Augie shouts. I can barely make out the glint of Mindy's glasses in the darkness below. Definitely been better, but at least now you know what to avoid. We stand there with the rest of our classmates, unsure of how to proceed. There has to be another way, I say stubbornly. We can do this if we work together, I just know it. You got a plan? Augie asks skeptically. A plan? Suddenly the bones of one start formulating in my head. It's risky, but it just might work, I say, imagining a convoluted series of events. And it starts with you jumping to the left wall and hanging on for dear life. Oh, good, replies Augie with a deep breath. I'm sorry I asked. After I quickly explain the rest of my plan to my two remaining teammates, Augie leaps to the left wall and slowly climbs sideways toward the middle of it. He almost slips, but manages to cling with his strong hands. Okay, now what? Now here we come. And with a running start, I leap onto Augie's back and use him as a springboard to launch myself to the far wall. I cling to the wall. Daz quickly follows me, but unfortunately, when she leaps off Augie's back, he loses his grip and tumbles into the water. Sploosh! But she makes it to where I am and uses my shoulders as a boost, just as I planned. I barely hang on to the cracks between the stones as Daz launches upward. I watch her scale the precipice like a squirrel up a tree, deftly placing her feet and hands in all the right crevices between the stones. Coop! Your plan is actually working, she calls down. But suddenly she squeals, and I look up to see her slipping. What the ooze? Ah! As I cling precariously to the wall, Daz loses her grip and tumbles past me into the water. Another sploosh. Great. If I hear one more sploosh, I'm sure it will be me splooshing, and I just can't have that. Everyone says that no one's ever completed this maze, but what if we're the first? We'd go down in Dungeoneer Academy history. We're so close. With determination blazing in my belly, I carefully climb sideways toward the right wall, narrowly avoiding the dripping ooze that spelled Daz's fate. I almost slip once or twice on the damp stone, but I make it to the corner. Then, mustering all my wiry strength, I shinny up the corner walls like a spider, my hands and legs shaking from overuse. Urgh. Well, how I'll make it from the corner back over to the ledge in the middle, I have no idea. You think I planned this far ahead? One thing's for sure. I need to make sure I avoid the blast of air that knocked Mindy out. But then it hits me. Not the air, but an idea. What if I don't avoid the air vent? What if I use the air to my advantage? I climb up all the way to a point near the dormant vent and take a deep breath. Here goes nothing, I say aloud to myself. Leaping from the wall, I jump right in front of the vent, triggering a blast of hot air that washes over me. I catch the jet perfectly, riding its warmth like a sputter rocket toward the ledge. With a thud, I hit solid ground and roll to my feet on the ledge. The light is so bright from the golden crown, I have to squint. Ha! I made it! I can't believe I made it. I'm just about to reach for the crown when I hear a faint noise underfoot. It's something like a click. And in dungeoneering, a click is always ominous. You never want to hear a click. Before I can react, the ground I'm standing on springs backward, launching me toward the chasm. As my hands grasp air in disbelief, the golden crown becomes a distant, out of reach glimmer. You've got to be kidding me. Sploosh! And that concludes the first chapter of Dungeoneer Adventures, Quest for the Wishing Stone. Thanks so much for listening.
Absolutely.
Definitely check out the series if you haven't yet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.